Hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poor.
In sickness and in health.
Even if we're on different sides sometimes. Because we're sitting on different sides today.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy November 22nd. Welcome to the Couples Table. We have made some changes. Okay, it's fine. It's an adjustment.
I'm okay with switching our sides back. I just thought you should use your microphone. That was my big thing.
No, I know.
Because what we did was we changed up. We continued to refine the setup in Heather's office for her gaming channel because we've been doing a lot of gaming streams. And so instead of me bringing in a mic and like rigging stuff up in a funky way, we just put in like a permanent mic arm for me.
Yes.
And then moved Heather's.
They come in from the sides.
Yeah.
Which is so nice. We just like push them out and then pull them back in.
We get consistent matched audio every time, which is really fun. And there's no like, every time I'm bringing in a mic, bringing in a cable, setting it up, doing the EQ, all that. I don't have to do that before all the things. And this is where we sit for when we do that. But for Couples Table, we're always on the other side. And I was on a phone call and I came back right before the thing and Heather was sitting here and I was sitting there and I was like, oh wait, I don't know if am I supposed to use your mic? I thought we were using ours. She thought we were going to our normal one and we flipped it at the last second. And so it's okay if you want to go back to the other side.
It's okay.
Time. We could even literally switch right now.
No, it's good. It's just I'm trying to like make it easier for all of the things that we make. And this is going to be easier for Heather just play. The one thing I don't like about it, though, is that this is my good side.
She thinks she has a bad side. She does not have a bad side. They're all good sides.
Yes. We have preferences of our own thing,
I know.
Yeah. So anyway, I like looking at this way to like face Tom.
I want you to feel comfortable.
Not this way. I know no one even cares, but
I'm sure everyone can relate.
These are the things we think about. Anyway, all right, let's check in with everybody. We did not go live last week because Tom and I were at a leadership conference. So sorry for that short notice. But here we are today. We're going to be talking about online communities and memberships.
Yeah.
We have a lot to share about that.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, Jake is here. Hello,
hey.
Audio Hotline. What's up?
Hello.
Bon is here. Hey, Bon. Good to see you. Chip, hello. And the vote has been cast. Awesome.
The vote caster.
If you haven't seen the link or haven't heard us talk about it yet, Tom was nominated and shortlisted as one of Rhodes creators of the year. So the last day to vote, I believe, is this Tuesday.
Mhm.
So if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, we'd really appreciate it. There's a link that I pinned in the chat if you want to check that out. Undecided Toy Stories here. Hello, it's good to see you over here.
They decided to come here.
And Charles, hello.
Hello.
Good to see you all. And hopefully this sounds okay because I'm also exporting a video. 4K videos take forever to export.
Well, this is a 30-minute 4K video.
30-minute 4K video.
Heather worked on quite a beast.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you about this video. I don't think we've ever, I say we because it was a joint effort. I don't think we've made a video like this.
No, it's very different.
Yes, it's different. It's so fun though. It's like one of my favorite videos. It's vloggy, it's chatty, it's all kinds of, it's just
charming, it's chill, it's fun, it's like
it's adventure, it's collaborative. Vaughn was there.
Oh yeah.
But if you want to see what that video is, it stars both of us. It's gonna be me and Tom. It's gonna be premiering over on my gaming channel at 4:30 today because I still have to upload it. I haven't. It's exporting.
Still exporting, yeah.
Yeah, so I wish I had the link to share, but it's over at Heather Display, or will be. Anyway, all right. Kay is here. Hey, Kay, I'm just going to drop this and dip against you guys next time. Well, good seeing you here. The King is here. I voted for Tom.
Wow. Well,
thank you.
Royal endorsement.
My Crafty Adventure is new here. Roy Tech Troublemaker sent me. Oh, very cool. Nice to see you here. Just Flinks. Always nice to catch the best live show on the web.
That's
Always
so
good to
nice.
see you.
Josh.
Hey.
What's up?
Good to see you, Josh. So, Tom.
Yeah.
Online memberships? No. Online communities and memberships.
Yes.
Do you
What about it? What do you want to know?
Well, I want to know. You made a big change this morning.
I did. I was kidding because I very much am figuring out it for myself. So
yeah.
Yes, I made some I think we mentioned it in a previous episode, but I made some very big changes this week, finalized today for how I do my online channel memberships and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was scary, but now I'm like really relieved and really excited. And we thought maybe a fun thing to talk about because I did that. And then you have also been like very organically building this really awesome community on the gaming channel.
Yes.
And which is not, it's not a monetized community or anything, just like strong, fun community.
Very
and
engaged.
Talking about those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, let's start with yours because
Sure.
yours is officially launched as of this morning.
Yeah.
So Tom has had a membership, like a membership program for 4 years.
No, I started my Patreon, I think, in 2018. So
Oh, wow. So, wow. Yeah.
And then YouTube channel memberships, when they like launched them, I think it was in 2020, around thereabouts that they launched them. I started that, and I have been running both side by side the whole time since. And trying, even though it's very different platforms, different features and capabilities, trying to even out. Basically, like if people think YouTube is easier to join, they could go there. If people think Patreon is easier to join, they could go there. And it's the same benefits, same perks either way.
Yeah. You were offering both.
I've been offering both.
Options, yeah.
And that did not work for me anymore.
Yeah, but you did it for 4 years.
Did it for a long time.
Yeah.
And the thing was, like, Patreon had been around for a long time, and YouTube memberships were new and really, really basic when they started out. And then over the years, YouTube keeps adding new features and new capabilities. And Patreon, ironically, kind of keeps muddying up or taking away features and capabilities. And it was like, And for me, it was interesting because I started with Patreon, and I follow and support a lot of people who make their full-time income through Patreon. And I always thought that was really cool because it's separate from everything else. So it's not part of your Google AdSense account. It's not part of some other thing. It's its own entirely separate entity. You can pull people in from everywhere. You can pull them from YouTube, podcasts, online community, whatever. They can all just go right there, and then you can set it up, and they take a smaller fee than YouTube and stuff does. So I was always like, yeah, Patreon's the way to go.
Yeah, and the membership model a membership business model as a content creator is very common. It makes a lot of sense, especially for someone like Tom who has 150 5,000 subscribers, you don't need that many people signing up for like $1 a month.
Yeah, we can go. I need more people, but we can go into like that. Like what it's really cool about memberships, at least for me, the thing that I like is, and a reason that it's something that I want to focus on and figure out a way to like actually be effective. Because right now, I think it's my smallest revenue stream.
Yeah.
I would like it to be my biggest. And so I don't know how to make that happen, but that's what I would like. And the reason for that is because it's a rare thing that actually adds stability to being a full-time creator. And I mean, you have accountability depending on how you run it to your members, but you don't have the pressure of, there are people who will sign annual sponsorship deals with brands, or it's like do X number of videos, whatever, every month or throughout the year or whatever, and then you get this amount of money, and that can give people some stability, but then you're kind of on the hook for these, I've always thought it's maybe a little bit risky to be like in, December of a year now signing a thing for what you're going to be making in October of the following year, when you're like, where are you going to be? Where's your channel going to be? Your audience going to be? Where's that brand going to be? Are they going to go, sometimes companies do things that maybe you don't want to.
Well, you also as a creator, like you might change, your priorities and the way that you feel about the content that you make and all that. So,
and so members let you, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? That was Patreon's whole point, was like, that's why you have a patron, like in the old days, where it's someone who supports someone to create the thing that they make. And it can be a situation of like many hands make light work. You don't need one sponsor to sustain yourself. You can have a bunch of people chipping in just little bits. And what's cool is that then allows for like churn. Like people can come and go.
Right. And it doesn't.
Yeah. If you have one source of revenue that's, I don't know, $5,000 a month and it disappears, that's devastating.
Yeah.
If you have 2,500 people paying you $2 a month and 10 of them leave, it actually doesn't make a huge difference. Not that, that's not to say like, oh, the members don't matter or whatever, but it's like, it's designed to accommodate that. Like, because people can't keep paying forever a lot of times, like,
obviously,
like stuff changes and all kinds of things change. So people come and go, and it allows for that. And then as the creator, you're like, okay, regardless of what happens, I get this baseline revenue.
Well, also, I think what's special about memberships is that I feel like creators eventually get to the point where they have this very special relationship with their audience, and the audience does genuinely want to support the creator so that they can keep watching their favorite creators' content, right? So this is a way where they can, depending how you set it up, in a small way, contribute to you being 100% in creative control.
Yeah.
I think it gets, obviously, like with sponsorships and when you're working with clients and stuff like that, the way that you have it set up, you are very forward about like, I am still in control, but you have to factor in the fact that like there's an integrated, ad segment. There just is certain things
pressure
that
you put on yourself.
Yeah. You have to like abide by and stuff like that. So, it's a really special way that like members can like feel like they're a part of the thing that you're making.
Yeah, and they are. And sometimes I know like there are people I support on Patreon or channel memberships or whatever, where it's like I don't care about getting perks, I just want to support them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even watch all the stuff they make, I just want them to be able to keep making it.
Yeah.
And there are others where it's like the reason I'm supporting is for the perks, like there's
behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. There's one that I do, like, there's a podcast I support, and by being a member, that's the only way you can. They have like their main podcast series, but then they have other series that have been running for years, and the only way to hear those is to be a member. So it's like
members only. Wow.
Yeah, and there's a whole spectrum of ways to approach it, and it's just really cool. And it is a cool way to like. If you have those people that not only want to support you, but are maybe the most interested in what you do, sometimes, as a creator, you can have that question of like, should I make this video? Is this too vloggy? Is this too personal? Is this too off topic or whatever? And it's like, it's really nice to have a group of people opting in who are probably on board with those ideas. And instead of like either not doing this idea or putting it out and having it hurt your channel.
Yes.
Now it actually has a place to help your channel and be really appreciated. So it opens up a lot. Obviously a lot of people run the risk of like overextending themselves with memberships and like promising just way too much. And now you have a full-time job to support, 18 people who have given you $2 a month. And it's like, this is not practical at all.
Right. Yeah. There's definitely ways to do it. Really quick, just a guy and a girl. Hey guys, just voted for Tom. Thank you for doing that. Just Flink says, I heard that Smosh, after they bought their channel back, decided to go with YouTube channel memberships over Patreon, even with the lower split. I think it being on platform is a huge plus for most people.
And what we can get to in a second is what I ended up doing is essentially closing my Patreon and moving everything to YouTube. So we can talk about that.
My Crafty Adventures. I'm a crafting channel and 200 hours from being able to monetize and start memberships. I'm just not sure how to use the membership, which you can kind of share how you decided to do it.
Also, just because you can doesn't mean you should right away. Maybe it's like, cool, this is an option, but as time goes on, something might pop up that just suddenly makes a ton of sense, or even people who watch your channel might go like, hey, could you do this? Could you offer this? Like they might even give you ideas of what they want.
Well, actually, so going off of that, I have the ability to turn on memberships over on my gaming channel. It just does not feel right to turn it on right now. Like, does not feel right. There are super chats, right? So if people want to, for some people, contributing $5, $10, $20 is, I don't want to say easy, but like,
everybody has a different perspective on.
Yeah, exactly. There are people who like they have the ability to contribute that immediately, and then there's people who don't, right? So they can support in other ways, like through their time or by being a mod in the Discord server or something like that. There's other ways that they
being
can
enthusiastic about the stuff you make, like
showing up.
I actually like watching the videos and leaving comments and sharing them and stuff like that makes a world of difference. Yeah,
but like going off of what you said about, even though you have memberships available, it's not necessarily you want to turn them on immediately. And I'm definitely, it just doesn't feel right now to talk about it, turn it on, but there are super chats in case people want to support that way.
I really admire that's the way I admire that you're taking that approach. And even though it feels like, you might be missing out on revenue right now, I feel like in the long term, sustainability, the thing we always talk about, I feel like that's a way better way to go.
I'm trying to come up with a clever response to that because it's our decision. It's for our business.
I know,
but like, I really admire that decision that you made that affects our bank account.
I know, but it's like, on the game, like you're in the driver's seat on that channel, and it needs to work for you and be a thing that's creatively inspiring for you and motivating for you. And it's easy. I could be like, it makes financial sense for you to turn on memberships, and people are asking for it, and then you do it. And now you feel guilty, and now it's like, I have just stopped all the creative gears and shut everything down. Like,
so we can share more about that. Ernesto, hi Heather and Tom, happy Friday.
Speaking of supportive members.
JFK, how's everyone's bank card doing? Y'all resisting temptation? Is that because it's Black Friday coming up?
We're heading to Black Friday. There's a lot of new cameras and tech and things coming out.
Is there anything that you've been paying attention to?
I bought new goalie pads.
I know. So that was all of birthday, Black Friday.
So there's a lot of good hockey sales right now, which is awesome.
I love that that's where your priority is.
And then my birthday gift to myself was the base that should be delivered tomorrow, and that is.
See how hard it is to get Tom a present because he has goalie pads. Which, how much were the goalie pads?
We don't need to worry about that.
It's a lot. How much was the base, babe?
We don't need to worry about that.
This is why I can't get him anything, because all the things that he wants are like a lot.
Well, it's not the price. It's also real specific. Like,
right. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to do the
like, I would appreciate if you were like, I got you goalie pads, I would appreciate it so much. But the chances of you getting like the right fit, the right style, the right, like everything.
Nope.
I can't even do that for myself.
Yeah.
I usually have to return and exchange like several times. So there's that thing too, where it's like
I would never buy Tom a camera because you have your preferences and I don't know.
Right. And that's, so it's like I'm not expecting gifts.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Camera Junkie of the house. Hey, everyone.
Hello,
Be
hello.
strong. Resist the urge to abuse the bank cards. I haven't thought about it actually, but I feel like I probably should.
Abuse the bank card?
No, be aware of Black Friday deals.
Oh, there's probably some cool stuff.
I haven't even thought about it.
Yeah.
I forgot Thanksgiving was this week. It's like less than a week.
Oy.
Crazy. Gil's here. Hey, everyone. All right. Well, did you want to go into...
Sure.
Yeah.
So, a thing that so basically, as of this morning, everything's finished. The last thing I had to do was make a new intro video for YouTube memberships, because when you go to someone's channel and you click the join button, a thing pops up and you have the option, if you want, to include a video where you can it's like 2 minutes of, hey, this is what I have to offer. This is what is here. So that was the last thing I wanted to add. I did that. And I revamped some tiers, which
I can pull it up.
I think so. I guess I could go with maybe lessons I've learned in doing this.
Okay.
Would maybe be the most helpful thing to share. So running YouTube and Patreon, I thought made things the most accessible and the most open to everybody. If you log in with a channel that you're not, if you log in with a YouTube account that you're not a member on, it'll show the thing there, but you have to be signed into some account. And I thought that was hey, that makes it open for everybody.
There we go.
Well, yeah, you can show. So, yeah. So if you click the join button, see there's a video there. I literally am wearing the same shirt I recorded that this morning. And there's 3 tiers now, which we changed the pricing on. You helped me figure that out. So there's $5, $10, $20 a month. It used to be $5, $15, $25. So I actually lowered those. Clarified, perks and no perks and things like that. So some stuff is the same and some stuff is a little different. Overall, I actually think it's a lot better and it's a more fun offering. The thing is, having done both of them for a long time, what I kind of hoped was that Patreon would take off and that would be my main thing. And the opposite, well, I shouldn't say channel memberships took off, but they are definitely more, it's like a 3-to-1 sign up rate for YouTube versus Patreon.
Okay.
And that just is the way it is, because just like we mentioned a minute ago, I forget someone brought it up. I forget who said it. Yeah, Just Flink said that it's just easier for most people. It's like how it's easy to add a Discord server. If you already have a Discord and just add another server. If you're already on YouTube and you have a Google account with a credit card attached to it, you can just join a channel really easily.
It's right there.
Versus leaving the platform, going to Patreon.
And I feel before it wasn't as common for people to have a credit card stored.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, and now I feel like it's a lot more common. So.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier. And YouTube has added so many cool features, and so it's been hard because I haven't been able to use those features. So every time I want to make a post, I have to post on Patreon and then make the same post on YouTube. But the 2 platforms don't format things the same. If I want to do update videos, I have to upload them to 2 separate places, which again doesn't work exactly the same. If I want to do something like a members only live stream, I can't use the members only stream function. I have to do an unlisted stream and then email everybody about it, which is way less effective in terms of notifications, so people are missing streams a lot. I can't do cool stuff you can do a public stream with a members only chat. You can do just all kind
you can do early access.
You can do early access to videos. Haven't been able to do that because I'd have to upload the video, or I have to move it as a private thing, share the link, do everything manually, whereas you can just have it do automatically on YouTube, set it to early access, and then on a date it automatically switches to public and you're done. YouTube just really made their memberships a lot more robust over the past few years, and things are integrated so well. The downside to it, really the big pain point is the posting, community posts. If you go on Patreon, you can basically make a blog post. You can integrate photos and formatting.
I have this problem with Discord.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, Discord I could basically bold.
YouTube, you can't even do that. You can't bold. You can't do images inline. You can't even really put a link easily.
I can't do images inline either.
So doing posts on YouTube is annoying, but they have said they're going to totally revamp that whole thing, which is also okay, seeing the features you've already added, the features you've said you're going to add. I'd really like to take advantage of that. Patreon also completely rebranded about a year ago, And I didn't even realize that it really kind of did cause a lot of friction because they started pushing everyone towards their mobile app. I felt things got really confusing. They suddenly added a free tier that was on by default, and you couldn't even turn off until recently. And so people could go to your Patreon, sign up for free, and you'd be like, get all these notifications like member, man. And I'm like, what do they do? What are they signing up for? Like, I'm not offering a free tier. Like, why did you do this? And then people go and they're like, oh, I could join for free. I'm gonna do. It's like, why would you do this to me? And then a big thing with Patreon, which is a bummer, it's not Patreon's fault, but Apple basically said that if you do subscriptions through apps, they're charging like an additional 30% on top of it. So Patreon's are pushing people. Patreons are making their app more required for a lot of stuff and integral. And now if you subscribe to people through the app, Apple gets another 30% of that, so it's actually even less.
So you can't do like global pricing.
Yeah, so you're getting like
but
maybe 60 cents on a dollar for a member if they sign up through the app, which is like and maybe it might even be more than that if you do like the Patreon fee plus the Apple fee in full. And so that's rough. And then Patreon, this didn't affect me, but it was a thing that did affect a lot of people. They took away, because of that, for some reason, they took away the per project option. So what some people would do is it wouldn't be a monthly thing, it would be a per project. And so, it's just like every time you upload a new thing, all your members are charged for that project. And that's kind of cool because it's like I've seen people who do, they might take a long time to work on videos, but every time they like literally press the upload button, they know, boom, now I have this return on that done. And if you do 2 videos a month, it doubles. If you do 0, it's 0. And now that's not an option. So some people who were doing that, especially people who are like artists and illustrators and stuff, or
music.
Yeah, they might do 3 or 4 projects a month, get 3 or 4, rounds a month, and now that just went back to they're getting like 1/4 their That's a bummer. And that was all stuff that like on top of the fact that like people were just going to YouTube more anyway. That's where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make that leap. And so I actually didn't fully close down Patreon because it's so annoying. Unless you like delete your account, you can't push people out of tiers. And I didn't want people to like, I can delete a tier and then someone's just going to be being charged, but with no access to perks. So I had to talk to the people. I had to let people know I can archive all those. And then there's just one tier, which is just a tip jar with no benefits or perks or anything. That's all that's left. And the reason I do that was because since it's been up since 2018, that link is a lot of places. It's in YouTube videos, it's on podcasts, it's on websites, it's everywhere.
Right.
And so going to a 404 page not found, and it's not practical for me to go do that. So okay, at least go to something. And if someone's just like, yeah, I like what you do and I don't want anything in return, I'll do that. And it even says like, if you want perks, if you want more options, go to YouTube.
Yeah.
But at least that way it still opens up for the podcast and things like that. It's a long story, but it's a lot to learn. So.
Yeah. Really quick. Let's see. Hold on really quick. My Crafty Adventures. Dumb question. I see the way to add super chats, but how do you join a membership? So we actually don't have memberships turned on for this channel. So if you are looking here, you're going to see the super chats, but I don't have memberships here. So here's Tom's channel. The way that you would subscribe to a membership is if you go to their YouTube page right here, next to the subscribe button, there's a join button, and you can click join
Tom,
here.
I want to thank you for checking.
And then there's going to be like an explainer video, and then all the different tiers that you can sign up for. But it's very clear what you are signing up for, how much you're going to be paying per month, and all the perks that you get. So there's multiple buttons before you actually subscribe on a paid level.
Mm-hmm.
But on this channel, you're not gonna see it because we don't have it turned on.
Yeah.
There you
go. Yeah.
And you did that. Yeah. Andre, sheesh, only 22 and a half hours away from being able to have memberships. I'm not sure if I'm gonna gamble on being able to offer something exclusive to members though. Yet time will show.
Yeah. The cool thing is there's like so many options. You don't have to do what other people do. You can really make it work for you and your audience, like what you want to offer. You can change it too. So yeah. So the tricky part here, I'll go through this and then because I don't want to share this just randomly, but I feel like this might be helpful to have people understand. Like, do I want to use YouTube? Do I want to use Patreon?
Yeah.
Or in this situation. So, okay, I'm going to go full in on YouTube. I had my 3 tiers that have been up since the beginning. YouTube's sort of the opposite of Patreon. I can't archive a tier and like grandfather people in and then have a new one.
Yeah.
You can only delete a tier and then it just cancels people's memberships. They're just gone. So
that makes sense to me.
I mean, I like the option to do either because there's some Patreon, like I'm members of people's Patreons where I signed up early and they grandfather me in, but then they revamp their pricing structure. So like I still get, maybe it's nice to have that option.
I feel like if someone signs up for $5, they signed up for $5, and if you're gonna close that tier, I feel like the only thing that should happen is you get canceled because it's not fair for you to start paying for something you didn't sign up for. That's why I feel like you. Because I had this problem with Mighty Networks.
Oh, I've only seen it benefit people. So like essentially for me on Patreon, I am now grandfathered into like a $5 tier where I would be getting a feature I would need to pay $10 for.
Yeah, so if you are adding benefits, that's
the only way I've ever seen it
yeah.
happen personally.
But I can see how people would remove
right.
Or
well, in my case, nothing was going to get removed, but then yeah. So I tried to make a post explaining what's happening, but of course I mentioned the posting's a little funky right now. And then I had to remove the tiers, and then I did have someone in tears, not literally, but they emailed me like, why did my membership get canceled? I think my card's still good. What's happening? And I had to explain what happened. But the good news is I actually bumped both the things down. So I was like, yeah, there's actually more perks for less money. So I'm not trying to.
And I think the idea there is like, if hopefully by doubling down on YouTube memberships, you can get more members.
Yeah, and that was the thing you really helped me with because I was like, I have these 3 tiers. I'm not changing the low end one, but I want to change the middle and the high. There's already people in there, so by changing them, I'm now canceling my like highest paying members. I'm just canceling them, which is scary. But you were explaining, you were like, well, if you have a $25 tier, someone might join that, but that's a way bigger monthly expense than $5 or $10, and so they might join, be excited, but how many months can someone be
paying $25
realistically
a month?
do that?
Yeah.
So then they're gonna maybe dip pretty quickly, which I have seen. Like people, at one point I even offered a $50 tier because people told me to, and it was awesome, and people joined it. But you can join that for like 2 months.
Yep.
Even the people who asked for it are like, okay, that's about it. Whereas I have people who have been in the $5 tier at this point. I think it literally says like 39 months. Like it's been a very long time because it's a little more sustainable.
Yeah.
And so kind of lowering everything down, it makes sense, 5, 10, 20.
And get more people in.
And that's the again, many hands make light work kind of thing.
Really quick, let's just catch up with the comments. Hammer and Sickle, hey guys, just dropping in to say hi. Hello. Just Flinks. The number of paid subs that a lot of Twitch streamers have shows that people are willing to support creators they watch if it's on platform. There are multiple streamers with 50K plus paid subs right now. That's crazy. That's insane. Freddie says, I voted for Tom the first day, and I usually don't go through the process.
I very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Greg, whose OCD is freaking out? Tom and Heather swapped their usual spots.
We'll see if that stays. Might be a one-time sitch.
Dawn says, I surprised my wife with a stop at Handles last week. She loved it. Great recommendation.
I'm curious what flavors you guys got.
So good. Spiral Lab. Hey, late, but happy to be here. Happy that you're here. Charles, I'm not eligible for memberships yet, but even if I was, I don't know what type of benefits I could give. We can talk a little bit about what you did. Andre, too bad the join button isn't in the mobile app next to the subscription button. Makes it kind of hard to get to.
Yeah, it's weird. In the iPad app, it's like it's non-existent basically.
Oh, okay. My Crafty Adventures is on the mobile app and didn't know how to join. How weird.
Oh yeah, Greg.
Greg.
Ice cream fund donation. If it's not too cold, it's never too cold for ice cream.
It's never too cold for ice cream.
Oh, see, that's literally the next comment.
We are all on the same page.
Yeah.
The problem is today we are going to a hockey game, and at our arena, there's Mr. Softy. So Tom gets Mr. Softy guaranteed every game. And so that would be weird if we got Handles.
I did do that once this season. I did both in the same day because I needed to do it for science to see how they compared.
For science. Andre, just noticed Tom and Heather switch places. Now I have to turn the TV upside.
So look, put it in front of a mirror.
You got the sampler, the 4 different flavors. Don't remember the names.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I forgot where we were with memberships.
Well, the risk of like canceling people, but to lower it down really helped because.
Well, so here's the thing with pricing, right? Do you remember the percentage?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about that. This is how memberships can really be effective, and I think this is like the perfect thing where you have someone who is, I feel like, at a realistic subscriber number. You know, I think a lot of people can hit 100,000. I think not a lot of people can hit 1,000,000, right? So obviously, if you have a giant, massive audience, you get everyone to pay $1, like you're gonna be good, right? But I think 150,000 is a lot more reachable. So hearing your math in terms of this,
check in a year and see how it goes. But the math that I came up with was like, okay, what would I really like? Like if I want this to go from smallest revenue source to biggest revenue source,
yeah,
I would love to be able to have $5,000 a month come from channel members. Right now it's about $375.
$375.
So
yeah,
that's a ways to go.
We have a long way to go.
And right now it's about, at least on YouTube, there are 75 members.
Okay.
So, which is great.
Is great.
Yeah, it was over 100 with Patreon, but you know, things are changing there. So the thing that I was thinking, especially as a non-salesy person, was I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to be salesy, but also people like, I want them to know, and where do I want to go with this? And $5,000 a month, what is that, like 60 grand a year, I think. So that's a lower middle class full-time income, depending on where you live. It would definitely be like, paycheck to paycheck situation. But if that's just the foundation, and then on top of that, you have the volatile stuff like affiliate revenue, AdSense, course sales, all that stuff, where it's like, sometimes those can be really strong and sometimes they can be nothing.
Yeah.
But at least you have this very strong foundation. Like the amount of stress it would alleviate is huge. And, I've not done a ton of sponsored videos over the years, but unfortunately the ones I've done have been with great companies, but not even feeling like, not feeling really only doing something like that. I feel like it's 100% something I really, 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 really want to do.
Yeah.
It kind of gives that freedom. Because even when I would do sponsored videos where it's like literally I've done sponsored videos where the video is finished, scheduled, uploaded, and then a brand reaches out and says like, hey, you want to do a sponsored video this month? And I'm like, oh, it would actually fit really great in this. And then I just edit in. And so it's like, I know the video was done without a sponsor the same way. So I know the sponsor did not affect the content of the video at all.
Right. Yeah.
But there's still the thing of like, obviously I want all my stuff to like do well. But now when it's sponsored, I know they're going to be looking at it and there's a little more pressure of like, there's never a guarantee of like, it will get this amount of views or anything.
Of course.
But obviously I'm like, well, if you sponsor, I'd really like it to do like, and it just can be a little more pressure and sometimes that doesn't work out. So alleviating that stress.
Yeah.
So fun.
So what's our math?
So the math, what I think a realistic thing for my channel, my audience, whatever, is that most people would be in the least expensive tier. So I think it was a 60% there, 30% in the middle, 10% in the high-end tier.
Yeah.
Which would come out, to get my $5,000, the rough math is something like 850-ish people in the low one, 250-ish people in the middle one, and like 30 people in the high one. It doesn't need to be a lot, 30 to 50 maybe. And then that would, when you factor in YouTube's 30% and all that, that would come out to take home $5,000 a month. And I was like, okay, that comes out to like something like 1,125 members.
Total.
I have 75 now. We're talking about well over 1,000.
Long way to go.
We need 1,000 more, 1,100 more members. But I was like, okay, let me look at what is that percentage of my total subscriber base. That is 0.75%. It's less than 1%.
Less than 1%.
And so when I look at it that way of like, okay, if I can just get 1% of my channel subscribers.
Because if you look at it like 1,100 people,
it feels insurmountable.
Yeah. If you look at it like it's 1% of your existing. Okay, first of all, Tom's subscriber count goes up every day, right? So just existing 153,000 subscribers, 1% there, but then knowing that like new people are going to continue to discover your channel and stuff like that.
Yeah. It feels, I'm not business savvy enough to be like, oh, what is the like turnover? You know, if I market it this way, then I convert this many people. I don't, what I know is that it feels a lot less salesy to think of like, okay, I'm trying to get 1% of the people into my channel.
You're not trying to get
to join a membership. I'm not trying to get 50%, all of them. Like, no, I'm not trying to sell it to everybody. It's people who are interested in it.
Yeah. And for sure, 1% at 155,000 people like have been subscribed to you for years. I'm sure would want to support. They just, you know,
I've never even asked for it. I barely mentioned it. So it's like, okay, let's try to like work on that a little bit. And so that's kind of where I'm at with my goal there. Don't know if that's achievable or not, but we'll see.
Yeah. So it's like perfect timing because we're, you know, at the end of the year here, and then we could definitely check back in like 6 months and see how it's going. But you officially turned it on today. So.
Yeah, and it's really nice to streamline stuff. Like and I thought I was adding more options. Being like, you could do Patreon, you could do this, and I think that was like, well, then now I don't know, so I'm not gonna do anything. Versus like
simplify,
do this.
Yeah.
Here's very clear options. Done.
Yeah. I didn't realize the super chat was for both of us. That's awesome.
Yo.
We might have to go. We might have to swing by. Let's see. Mass is the largest consumer of ice cream year round. Really? How does one know that?
Is that where Ben & Jerry's is based?
Oh, I think so.
Somewhere with like premium dairy situations.
Really? How is that even calculated? Science. I find that's very curious to me because I feel like California would be it. There's so many like beachside towns, you know.
I don't know.
Eating junk food for science is my kind of experiment. It's around 32.
Yeah, it's freezing, literally.
It's 32 degrees
You could just have your ice cream outside. It'll never melt.
Okay, you know what it is here? 78. 78.
But I was eating ice cream in the hockey arena the other day, and I was like literally
your hands are
shivering.
It was so cold. Just Flink said, I found that on my multiple channels, offering memberships right away is not always the best idea. Prioritizing community and audience without monetizing always pays dividends in the future.
And that's what you're doing.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about
I want to talk a lot of bit about that.
Let's see. For science. Heather Tom, you were about to talk about what type of perks can do via memberships when you got derailed by ice cream.
Hey, Bailey.
Bailey, what's up, Bailey? Let's see. Fundraiser idea, raise $2,000 and Tom dyes his hair the same color as Heather.
Oh, boy. I don't know about that.
I feel like you should go Adam Blue.
Adam
8-bit Blue. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. See, Tom, if you rebrand the channel to McFlix and offer weekly bespoke mic vids, you'd probably have 1,000 members in a month.
MicFlix.
You're $20 closer. Just became a signal booster.
You are the king.
Thank you.
Well, we'll talk about what members get in a bit.
Coach Constance
Ben &
says,
Jerry's Vermont.
Oh.
I was like Eaton, Northeast somewhere.
Well, I was like
New England.
Literally, I saw this comment. I was like, VT. Come on, Heather. Where is that?
Oh, wow. Bailey's going around podcasts and I was trying to figure a lot of this stuff out, membership options. And
oh, wow. Yeah. How funny. 32 Fahrenheit sounds about right, Greg. We just had snow a couple days ago. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about membership options. Do you want to talk about your Discord and everything and like how that came about and all that?
Yeah. So here's the opposite approach. So obviously Tom and I have been thinking about monetization when it comes to Heather Just Play. It just does not feel right now. The community there, though, is like the strongest online community I've been a part of. It's so active. People are in there every single day. And the best part is like it's at the point where I don't have to start every conversation. I feel like, I mean, even Mighty Networks had it was like a huge big push because they integrated AI where it can generate just an infinite number of questions for you and schedule it out so that you were asking a question and prompting conversations every single day. I don't even have to do that. Like, people are just reaching out and connecting without.
It's very organic and real,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
it's such a cool community because there's been so many times where people go above and beyond to help out in all these ways, and it's like it almost feels like we can't pay you, like, and that no, they're this is what they want to be doing, is like.
It's so strange to me. It's so freaking weird. And I think it's like I have to.
Remember when you could just have hobbies that didn't need to be like
Yes.
monetized?
That is the difference. And I think like it's, in our past 7-8 years of doing this, we've been part of communities that it's not a hobby, right? This is a business. This is a job, whether it's full-time or part-time or aspiring to be, monetized at some point. But to have a community it's just the equivalent of people coming over and we're playing video games like we did on the weekends as kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is no expectation of anything in return aside from just being a member. So what's really cool is like I really don't feel like I feel like I'm very much a member of the community.
Yeah.
It's very two-way versus, where on YouTube it's like you're talking one to many. This is two-way conversation. Like, it is going back and forth. I know people by name, and of course there's like people who are more involved than others and stuff like that. But either way, it's so active, and it's just awesome. I don't know. It's great.
Well, yeah, and it's a good example too, whether you're doing a paid or an unpaid thing. Like, your initial thing wasn't like, I'm going to have a Discord.
I never in the horizon ever. I don't like Discord. It's not even something like, even if that was the right thing to do, I didn't plan for it, but the whole channel has been very organic. When multiple people are asking for it, that's when I'm like, okay, let's make this happen together. I didn't even build it. People helped to build out the structure. They're all contributing ideas, and I don't know. It's just, I think I'm redefining community. I'm seeing this is what a very healthy, thriving community looks like.
Yeah.
In terms of monetization, I don't know. Like, I definitely don't want to monetize the community. But I think that there are people who, there have been people who've super chatted $20. So obviously it's like, there are people who, it goes back to time, talent, and treasure, right? Like, different ways that you can support a nonprofit. This is like, I used to be a nonprofit. So people would ask, like, do you want to volunteer your time? Do you want to donate or, contribute to fundraising, raising funds? Or what is it? Talent. Yeah. Or talent, where if you're in marketing, you can help promote an upcoming fundraising event or something like that. So I'm kind of looking at it that same way with the community, or with Heather Just Play as a whole. There are people who have the ability to contribute money. There are people who have the ability to contribute a lot of time. And then there's also the talent, where it's like, everything from being a moderator or
putting the Discord together,
or organizing and coordinating events. Just being active, welcoming new members, all those things. It's like, I would be doing that if people weren't doing it for me. So the fact that people are contributing that way is huge. So like, that's kind of, I guess I want to get to the point where people don't feel like less than for not being a paid member, and I think I think people will understand that. It's just a matter of time of like establishing, just because someone has like, because the thing with YouTube is like, if you're a YouTube member, you get the badge. And I know aesthetics and badges and emojis are very important in the gaming community. And I don't want people to feel bad that they don't have the badge.
Badge.
The badge. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. It's, I'm still thinking about it. But it's just like, it's really cool to see how organic it's been. And I guess the reason why I share that is like, I can't even tell you like how that happened. Like I have
You couldn't plan it.
So much of my content and like, you know, a lot of the tutorials I've made, and I for 2 years I did so much research on community platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And every single community platform had their own best practices on how to grow and cultivate a community. I don't think I did any of the things. I think they help, but it's like, I don't know, it's vibe.
I don't think
it's hard. It's hard
if
to
you
explain.
had said, I'm going to dive into a gaming channel, it makes sense to have a Discord. So then you spent weeks and weeks putting together like the perfect Discord, best practice Discord. And now it's like, okay, people join the Discord. People would join, but then it would probably like kind of just fizzle. This was like, people, it was asking like, where's your Discord? You need a Discord. There's like, we need this because we need to, like, there was a need for it. And now that people are like built friendships and relationships there, it's like, okay, well, the Discord can grow. And so it's a thing. It's like when people always go like, oh, what do I get for, you know, my podcasting setup and stuff? Should I buy all this gear? And despite how much I like gear, I always tell people like, start with what you have, upgrade as your needs become apparent. It's sort of the same thing. Like, you didn't offer anything, and then the channel and the community,
the needs became apparent.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. Aw, Hammer into Gold. This is a YouTube mod and an officer in our Final Fantasy 14 free company called Kraken's Call. Let's see. I honestly forgot to look at JCM for months. Whoops, just logging in again. Well, we shadowed or sunsetted. We sunsetted. But see, even that, I think like what the thing with JCM, and someone asked on the YouTube huddle about our mastermind. Tom and I used to have a YouTube mastermind, which was $75 a month, and we had like a really good group.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, like, it was such a good group. The reason why we don't do it anymore is like,
I have to go. He's digging in your blanket because he thinks the squeaker is in there.
Oh my gosh, Finley is.
It's not a towel.
Oh no, Finley's trying to get to his toy and it's like stuck under a blanket, or he thinks it. Yeah, go over there. Come on.
That was really.
Oh yeah, so I don't really know how to explain this. I like being a coach, you know, a cheerleader, a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I need that outlet. And the couples table, this is a great place for us to discuss relevant content creator issues and topics and stuff like that. The YouTube huddle up is kind of the thing where I can be in like a YouTube coach role. But the thing that I didn't realize that I really wanted to build was a community that I could just be a member of, you know, where I can, where I didn't feel like people were looking to me for the answers.
Yeah, or you have to keep it going. You have to keep pushing the gear and.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot what my point was, but
I think the importance of just organicness.
The advantage of having jobs doing what interests me, and I would probably do anyway, means my hobbies are automatically monetized.
There you
go. Yeah. So I feel like there's something else I wanted to say about it. Oh yeah. So here's an example. I put out a video this week that it's just stream of consciousness for 30 minutes. I felt like I had gotten a lot of DMs and messages, and I was reading comments and stuff, and I really wanted to kind of give an update to the community in terms of what I was thinking about. Meanwhile, we were really busy last week in real life, so I hadn't had a chance to like sit down and give an update. And so I was like, you know what? I think it'll be actually faster and more effective if I just do a quick video update that ended up being 30 minutes, one shot. I was like, no one's gonna watch this video, Tom. And after I recorded it, we had to go to a hockey game. And by the time we got back, I was like, I don't think I'm going to put this video out because it's terrible. It's just like objectively a bad video. It's just me talking. It's the same shot and I'm rambling. I think I repeated myself. Like, there's probably a good 10 minutes of me repeating the same thing over and over. It is one of my most successful videos, of course. Tom is the one who encouraged me to put it out anyway, and I got such good responses and feedback and comments, and like it kind of
soul soothing.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it rejuvenated the community, and told me a couple things. One, I'm all up in my head about things that no one else is paying attention to. Two, it kind of speaks to the connectedness of the community. I think it's kind of like, YouTube memberships. Like if people are in, they're in.
Yeah.
They want to hear what,
you don't have to keep justifying.
Yes.
Like they made the choice.
Exactly. And so I'm over here like, this is not a good YouTube video. I didn't even make a thumbnail for it. It was YouTube's auto-generated selected freeze frame. And I titled it like some updates about the channel, like something so just non-YouTube.
Channel update.mov.
Yeah, literally it was, very simple. But again, like such great response, and it's just, I don't know. So it's like it just speaks to if you can focus on building a community that's really fun, where people feel like they have ownership. I think you're doing that really well with your community anyway, and I'm excited to see how it unfolds and getting new members into your YouTube memberships.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, if you just create like a space that people want to be a part of, there's no like, how do I make it perfect? People are here for you, as the, creator of the Tom Buck channel, and for me as Heather of Heather Just Play.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It's super special.
Cool. Yeah. Well, to wrap up, can we go through the perks? We mentioned it, but we never did it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Kyle's here. Always great content. Good to see you, Kyle. Mike says, happy Friday. Love the gear setup. You two are rocking. Hammer and Sickle, I love that video so much because it was genuine and just honestly sharing your feelings. Very relatable and human.
Yes.
Let's see. Heather's perspective on her YouTube community is super interesting because it reminds me of the really tight communities on Twitch that I like. Have you ever thought about exploring that space? Have we ever thought about exploring Twitch?
I think the same way that people who like come from Twitch are like, I don't know about YouTube. I think if you're like YouTube native, you're like, I don't know about Twitch. And we're so into the YouTube world that it's just kind of where we make sense, I think. Yeah.
Like I can't, every time I go to Twitch, I'm confused. So I can't, like the idea of figuring out another thing. And here, you know what? I think this is what it comes down to. Just like Tom condensed from YouTube and Patreon to just YouTube, that's kind of like, I'm not going to now, have another arm of Twitch. It's just going to be here on YouTube. And it's great so far, so it's like, I wouldn't add on a thing to add in more people. If I wanted to add in more people, it's just going to be YouTube people.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. My most successful video was a video I spent a total of 30 minutes on. Yep. Just something to be said when it is raw, not overly produced, and just genuine. Bon is here and says it doesn't have to be shiny and polished to be very moving and impactful.
Very true.
Yeah.
Important thing to remember for all of us.
Okay, so let's go over your perks really quick.
Sure. So, and this is, I want to share these to kind of like help people understand why I chose these, because maybe that would help you figure out if you're thinking of like, Tom, what could I possibly offer or do whatever. So there's the 3 tiers, which worked for me. Some people have more than 3. The base one, for me, like some people have like $1 a month tier or whatever, and that just like, I've heard the phrase the juice isn't worth the squeeze when it comes to memberships. To me, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like, come on, let's do something here. So the base one is pretty basic. It does have badges because you can do those with YouTube. I might want to revise my badges, and it's got emojis. I think I might even have more that I made I can add there. But anyway, I drew like these custom little emojis in Procreate, which is pretty fun. I did build my message board, which we talked about a while ago, which is like the opposite of Discord. So you get access to that. Of course, name at the end of videos, and then community posts. So text posts for members only. A thing about this though is, I mean, the name in video credits, so that you're assuming is every video, and I typically do a video a week. The message board is your own time, and members only community posts. It doesn't say weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. It just says members only community posts. So for me, that's extremely manageable, that workload. And also understanding a lot of people who jump in at that level, they do just want to show support. They're not trying to
get something in return.
They're not trying to get a lot of things in return. They just want to show support. So I don't need to like go out on a limb, overextend myself with a whole bunch of stuff that now it's gonna be a full-time job just to try to like keep up this membership thing. It's gonna end up creating more stress.
That is totally what I did when I first started Patreon in 2016. I was like, okay, here's all these like really cool perks for every specific tier. Oh my God, I have just created so much work for myself. And I had like 2 people in the top tier. So I was doing all this work for 2 people, which was fine, but like not sustainable.
So something that I didn't put in here, but I want to do is that is a thing. You have your top tier. Typically, you want to put your biggest benefits there, but that's also the slowest tier to grow usually. So it does end up being a thing like, oh, custom video, custom whatever, and it's like
high churn rate.
Yeah, so it's like for 1 person or 2 people. So I put the perks that are there, and then I actually have other ones that I think would be really fun. But I'm going to wait until it hits certain milestones. And maybe as things grow, I might actually make that like just tell people that like, hey, you know,
once we get 10 members, we can do this.
We only need a few more people and then this. And then it's like, okay, then this perk will be added because it's not just for, you know, an empty room or whatever. It's like, okay, there's
like one of the things you want to do is like a Q&A. It's like if it ends up being 1 person, then it's
like a Q&A, like
one-on-one
like an eCam Zoom Q&A where people can pop on the stream and we actually talk and like do a live stream that way. Sounds super fun. But yeah, like I would not charge $20 an hour for consultation. Yeah. So like it doesn't make sense for a thing like that. But if there's 30 to 50 people in there, now that makes a lot of sense to do that. So so the next one is the $10 a month, the AV Club. That includes everything from the other one, but you also then get video updates. So not just the posts, but again, no specific time frame on those. Early video access. So now I can start doing that in like 2 days before. On Tuesdays, I can give people access to that week's video. And members only live streams, which my goal is to do those monthly. There's just some practical life, semi-health things that make that difficult to say like, yes, but my goal is to to pick a day every month, like, I don't know, something like the last Wednesday of the month or something. That's always the members only live stream day. And I would really like that. So that will start incorporating, ideally, one that does have a timestamp on it. So you know, like, okay, I am getting at least this every month. And then the big one, which the King just signed up for, you get top billing in the end credits. So when I'm going to redo my, at the end of the videos membership thing, which, by the way, just anyone watching, I have a couple of videos scheduled. So if you see like this, my name's not there or whatever, it's those videos. The list is always accurate at the time that video was produced because those are the people that we're supporting at the time the video was made.
Yeah.
And sometimes the videos get scheduled differently. So top billing, so I'm going to change the way that looks, and like that tier, like the signal boosters are going to have their own sections, a little bit more prominent. I decided to put course discounts. Not, that's probably not a reason to start spending $20 a month on something, but if you're already you're already supporting that much, and you're looking at courses, why not get a little discount there too? And then something that I'm really excited about. This is where it's like, what kind of perks do you want to offer? Not just stuff people, it'd be a good value for them. But something I really want to do is something I'm calling show and tell videos, because sometimes how many times
I am the show and tell video.
Yeah.
Not me, but like
you're my audience.
Yeah.
Or it's the beginning of the couples table when I derail the show for 10 minutes because I want to talk about a thing. So when I find that weird camcorder, that cool little doohickey, this like old gadget or whatever, that's the video. It doesn't need to be like a heavily edited thing. It's, something that would go on like the regular. It's something that I wouldn't put on the channel, but something I want to make where I can sit down kind of just like this and literally just like show and tell something.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really, really fun.
And there will be a library.
And there'll be a library of those. Yeah. And that's what's really cool about that. And the same thing, like another thing I would like to add there in the future, as like, if it does grow, is I'd like to have more of a tutorial library. So like deep diving, not tutorials I would put on the channel because they're probably way too niche and way too in depth, but like, and they don't need to have like the YouTube pacing and stuff, but it's like, it's almost like little snippets, almost feels like what would be in a course, but like, here's, audio processing, here's whatever, any part of the process, like some real specific tutorial. which again, then there would be a library of that. And even if there is a high churn rate in that higher category.
Right. If you join 6 months from now, you'll still have access to the
Yeah.
entire
And if you join for a couple months, paying $20, $40 to get
access to
what
the
is
whole...
essentially like an unofficial online course. And then if you leave, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I would like to do more of. So, and there's also stuff too, which I haven't played with lately because I couldn't, because it wasn't an option, but I've seen some people do this, and I think it actually does help clean up the channel. Is if you do a live stream, just a regular live stream, you leave it up for a couple days or whatever, and then you switch it to members only, the replay. So it's something I played with once or twice, but then it barred all the Patreon people, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Whereas now I can do something like that, and that way you don't have all these like. I like having my live stream replays, so I've been leaving them because I think they're fun and cool, but sometimes they do kind of like clutter up the video page and do so it almost makes sense to like, let's not unlist them or delete them, but just put them over here.
Yeah.
And someone can become a member, and now if they just want to have like background audio for days and days, they can just play live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the current perks and maybe some potential future ones.
Great.
But those are all ones that make sense for me. It's a manageable workload for me. And it's stuff that people have either been interested in or said they'd be interested in, or I think they would be interested in.
Let's see. I'm a rare both Twitch and YouTube believer.
I love that. That's awesome. You go to VidCon and TwitchCon.
My Crafty Adventures, do you offer coaching or consulting?
I do sometimes, but I haven't in a while.
Yeah.
And you did coaching too. I did consulting.
I used to do both.
Yeah.
I don't anymore.
But... Yeah, time is a thing. If
you are looking for YouTube specific like coaching consulting, we have the whole YouTube huddle up over at
that's free.
My tutorial channel. Yeah, so it's not one-on-one, but it's a weekly accountability group of people who are working on growing and building their YouTube channels. We meet every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a weekly live stream, and it's really fun. We do Q&As, we get feedback, we're all in different niches, so I feel like it's really helpful to see what's working globally for YouTube creators and the YouTube platform. And there's a whole scoreboard, wins, goals thing there. So if you're looking for like that kind of a thing, that's free. And it's over at my tutorial channel called Heather Ramirez, just my name.
And my Crafty Adventures, since Tech Troublemaker is the one who pointed you this direction.
He's a part of it, yeah.
You might already even know about it.
Audio Hotline. My wife is also my show and tell audience. Yeah.
And I know sometimes you do not care, but I just need to get it out. So why not?
I know, but like, I feel like there are people who care.
Yeah, you never
more.
Reject.
Yeah.
But there are people like you're excited by me being excited about something.
Yeah, exactly.
But when there's someone who's gonna be like, "Oh my god, my mind is also blown for these reasons," I'm like, "Right, yeah,
yeah." You guys
like
can
I can
nerd
tell
out
you there's a
over
Simpsons reference in Final Fantasy 14.
I have never seen the Simpsons,
and you can appreciate that.
yeah.
But when someone else gets the reference, then it's like
totally different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre, practical question about supporter names and credits. Is there any smart, practical way of making those CSV file export or something, or is it just copy paste from a membership list in YouTube Studio?
You can export the CSV from YouTube, and then I have a Photoshop file, so mine's Photoshop. Some people do scrolling ones, some people do different ones. Mine's Photoshop, and I update it. I add people to it every time. It's like the last thing I do. It takes a couple of days to make a video, so the last thing that gets added are the names, so that way they're the most up to date, and I just add them to that Photoshop file. And then every quarter, I re-import the list because people drop off. So I don't. Actually, when someone leaves, I don't take them off right away because it's just that's a full-time job, just keep track of the silly list. So it's like, you might get a couple free bonus credits or whatever. That's fine. So every quarter is when I you'll notice like the list kind of like goes and it fills up the screen, and then suddenly it's like there's an empty column again, and it grows and does that. And that's the reason for that. That's what I've done. I think everybody does it a little differently.
Yeah.
That has worked.
Let's see. I'm an avid Tom VOD live stream watcher, so I might need to get me a membership.
Well, Mr. Camera Junkie said if you put live streams members only, you lose the chat. So that's a good reason to keep them public. And I mean, I'm happy to keep them public because it's cool when people join in. The thing that sometimes people, I don't know if they're new to YouTube or they miss it, they they watch a live stream from like a year or two ago, and I think
you're live.
I think they think it's live, and
Yeah.
they start leaving a barrage of comments and wondering why I'm not responding to them. And I'm like, that was in 2021. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Audio Hotline says my wife turns her brain off when I start talking. Minecrafty Adventures just subscribed. Yay.
That's your next channel. Heather just subscribed.
Gosh.
It's perfect.
I have so many Heather just. I was
Just.
thinking about it this morning. Heather just jump.
Oh, if you started a hockey channel, it could be Heather Just Ice, but it'd be like Heather Justice. Just Ice.
I don't know if I like that. Because everyone's gonna read it as Justice.
I know, but Heather Justice is a very cool, like,
Is it?
I don't know, like a public defender who's a superhero or something.
Ace Attorney?
Yeah, I'm making up a new lore now.
Yeah. All right. We're at the top of the hour, past the top of the hour, and I have to get. Of course, my video stopped exporting when we went live, so I have to get this out and uploaded. So anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. This was super fun. Hopefully that was helpful. I know, YouTube memberships is a very common, effective way to monetize as a content creator. So hopefully that was insightful for any of you guys who might be considering that or have a membership. And yeah, we will. Well, actually, next Friday is Black Friday.
Yeah.
Are we going live?
I mean, that's the plan. We're
Yeah.
going to go to the mall.
He laughed. Is that weird?
You're not going to go to the mall.
Yeah, we're not going to the mall. So we'll be here next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there malls to really go to anymore also? So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the help. Thanks for the support.
Yes.
And anyway, time, talent, treasure, whatever you're sharing. Thank you for that. And we hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your day. Actually, this will be the last time we see you if you celebrate Thanksgiving in the U.S. So if you do that, have a happy Thanksgiving and see you next time.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
great weekend.